I was approached by a woman, who was actually a lady of the sea, called Elisabeth. She is a queen of seduction that also operate in social network and send people message on the phone. The whole thing began when I went to visit my sister Berlinda, in the other part of the city. I was spending time at her place, then I went to a shop to recharge my subscription. I sat on a chair in that shop waiting to talk to the shop owner. That's when I saw a big lady that looked like a woman of valor. She entered the shop and stood not far from where I was sitting. When I saw that she was standing and I was seating, out of respect I proposed to give her my seat, but she told me it is all right. Since I insisted that she take my seat, she accepted. When she sat down she asked me, "Are you Esther, the daughter of Eugenie?" I said yes I am. I asked her, "How do you know my parent names? Do you have a relationship with them?" She told me, "Esther, I know all your family because I am a friend of the family." I said, "This lady know all my family, that means she know me." I wanted to ask her, "How do you know all my family?" but she read my thought, and in order to stop me from asking her that question, she asked me, "How is Belinda, your big sister, and her husband?" I said, "They are fine, I am visiting them for few days." At that moment I told myself, when I get home I fail to ask my sister about this lady, but when I got home I forgot to do it, because this lady that came from the sea dimension was controlling my thought process. She disrupted my thought so that I won't ask her name. She gave me her phone number, telling me, "You will call me when you get home." In the evening I called this lady. She said, "Esther, can we meet tomorrow around the shop where I saw you?" I agreed to meet her again. The following day my sister sent me around that shop where we met, and I was with a relative in a restaurant not far from the shop, and we were eating, when suddenly I saw the mysterious lady entering the restaurant. She told me, "I knew that I would find you here." In my mind I wanted to ask, "How do you know that I am here?" but she distracted me again so that I will not ask her that question. She asked me, "Can I sit with you?" I said, "Of course, madam." She said, "You can order the food you want and I will pay for you." Without hesitation we ordered food and ate together, not knowing that this lady is a sea mermaid of the submarine dimension and that she was not a human being. After eating she told me, "Tomorrow I will send someone to come and drive you to my place." Later when I was heading back home, and I said in my heart, I must ask big sister about this woman who claimed to be a friend of the family, and she seems interested in me. But every time I get home I would forget to ask my sister about this mysterious lady. I even rushed out of home early in the morning to go to the place where her driver was waiting for me, and this man drove me to a place in the city, and we finally arrive at the house of this lady of the marine kingdom. There are people who are not human, they are demon, and they look like human, and they live among us. In her house I found 4 ladies and they all welcomed me with excitement. They were celebrating the fact that I joined their group. Normally I should have asked them about the purpose of this group. In truth I was under manipulation and bewitchment. I even drank alcohol and smoke for the first time in my life, because of manipulation of this woman of water. When I went back home I was unable to speak to my sister about this lady even if I wanted to talk to her. Later Elisabeth called me on the phone and said, "Esther, I will make you a big lady and you will become a millionaire at the age of 20. In truth, this woman read my mind, because all these years my objective and plan was to become an entrepreneur and business lady. She just read in my mind my aspiration and ambition, and she used my own thought to deceive me by promising me what I wanted. The next time when I met her she told me, "I will give you power, but you need to give me sacrifice." I said, "In this world in order to have money you have to work, otherwise you have to spill human blood, which I am not prepared to do." Elisabeth replied to me, "Esther, you don't need to kill people to become a millionaire. I will show you another way. I want to tell you that you have a natural beauty, but today I am adding more beauty to your natural beauty, so that you will get the attention of men." At that moment this lady of the sea spat of my face in order to increase my beauty and make me seductive. She explained that her saliva will make my face more beautiful. I said, "Really? Just by spitting on my face you think you have increased my beauty?" She said, "Don't worry, you will see how men will desire you and lust after you, but take note, any man that look at you to lust after you, Any man that say with his mouth that you are beautiful, his star and destiny will be sacrificed and will become mine. We will capture men, destiny and wealth when they lust and admire your beauty. The following day in the morning after washing, when my own biological father saw and he told me, "My daughter, you are really beautiful, I am proud of you, I have a really good-looking daughter," I was laughing when my father was complimenting me. This was actually the beauty of the Queen of Seduction that the Lady of the Sea Elisabeth promised to give me when she spat on my face. And when I went to see Elisabeth, she asked me, "Why have you sacrificed your father? He will not die, but you have sacrificed his chances and destiny. He is left empty-handed with nothing because his chances and destiny has been captured." I said to Elisabeth, "I have sacrificed nobody." She said, "You see, the fact that your father have admired your beauty and said it, his destiny is sacrificed. From this day onward, every man that will praise your beauty in the street, his chances and destiny belong to us. If he praise your beauty in his heart, there will be no effect, but when he say it with his mouth, we will capture his wealth and chances. We will dry up his pocket, even if he goes to work and is paid a lot of money. In truth, that money belong to us, and he won't do anything significant with it because he is working for us in the spirit world." This lady of water said to me, "Whoever sleep with you, we will capture his star, which is his destiny and wealth." Brother, when your star is stolen, it's like you are dead. Even if you are breathing and you are working, all the effort that you are making, you are actually doing it for the marine kingdom, for everything that the Lord has gave you have been confiscated. When your star is stolen, what you were supposed to do in the physical world, you are doing it in the spirit world and you are working them. I asked Elisabeth, "How many men you expect to lust after me per day?" She replied, "In total I need 3,500 stars of men, and when we had finished sacrificing these men stars, you will get 1,000 stars, but we will get 2,500 stars and destiny of these men. When you get 1,000 stars and destinies of these men, you will become a millionaire." I said, "All right, since they are not dying, since we are just stealing their star, destiny and wealth, I am fine with that." When my mission of seduction began, the Queen of Seduction Elisabeth put the demon of fornication in me. I became rebellious, hard-headed and uncontrolled. I did not listen to anybody. I went out of home when I wanted and came back when I wanted. I dressed indecently to attract and seduce men. I was going out when my family were about to sleep and they shut the gate behind me. When I was leaving, they did not ask where I was going, and they considered that it was my way of life and it was normal for me. I began to sleep with men that could have been my father by their age. I had no control nor restriction. Any man that wanted to go out with me, I never said no. I even went out with politician and public figure of the country and officer of the army. I had captured the stars of all these peoples and their destiny was compromised. I have managed to sacrifice the stars of 2,500 people for the goddess Elisabeth, and I was now supposed to sacrifice the stars of 1,000 people for me, so that I would become a millionaire. I was animated by spirit of siren. I behave like a lady of the sea. I was swimming in the water like a mermaid. Then my younger brother told me, "Sister, you are behaving like mermaid. You seem animated by water spirit." I say, "Don't worry, even mermaid are also people like you and me, because they live on earth and they have flesh and blood like us." I spoke that way because they are among us and they look like us, and they have flesh and blood like us. But some time later, when I was alone, I began to think in my heart, how did I ended up sacrificing people destiny just like that? Other young girls are living a normal life, but why is my life like this? Other daughters have good communication with their parent, but I don't have a communication with my father, and we have become enemy even if we live in the same house. I am living a life where I am destroying people's life. At that time my mother was in prayer interceding for my salvation. After the reproach from my brother who said I am being animated by water spirit, I decided to join my mother in the other part of the city. When I got to her, he called 5 pastors to pray for my deliverance. Even if the prayer lasted 5 hours, I felt no difference. In fact, my situation worsened. It's like they went to provoke these water spirit in me. Elisabeth came and gave me more power in the eyes. I now had domination. When I look at people in the eyes, I dominated them and they became weak. I also received the spirit of lies and people accepted whatever lies I said. My father took me to Catholic priests so that I would be delivered, but it did not work. Elisabeth noticed that I was moving away from her. She shot me with arrow of sickness of madness so that I will die. She said, I have noticed that you want to leave me. Be careful, you will die or you will become mad. I said, I never sought you, you are the one who came to my life. From that day onward, when I see Elisabeth in the street, I was avoiding her. It is when I was doing state examen that I fell in coma. In truth, I had become crazy and I was cutting my clothes, but I was not aware of my action. It's when I came back to myself that I realized I had lost my mind and became mad. Elisabeth said to me, I told you will die if you leave. This sickness of madness became recurrent. Before going to my mother, I ran away from home for a period of 2 weeks where I went to live with a wealthy man. At home they thought I lost my mind and became mad in the street. Finally I joined my mother, who was attending a narrow-way church where the leader opposed fashion and modern dressing and makeup. It was not easy for me. My mother was determined for my liberation. In the church they said that I had the spirit of Mermaid and I was a siren. They came to pray for me, but the marine spirit resisted their prayer and refused to go. When we left that area, we began to listen to a narrow-door church on the radio. Whenever the pastor on the radio was insisting on the need to abandon sins that is cutting our relationship with God, I was feeling fire in my heart and I felt bothered by this message. The message was saying you have to give up prostitution and alcohol. It was like he was talking to me. Later, when I felt into coma, my mother made me drink water that she placed on top of the radio, and I recover pretty good. We finally went to the church and they did a short prayer for me and told me that I was free. I could not accept that the short prayer was enough. It is when I went back home that I saw my menstrual resuming after a long time. The migraine was over. I no longer fell in coma. I was able to spend a day without men. I even spent a week and a month without men, and I was comfortable. Later, when I went to do the state exam for the second time, Elisabeth came against me. Last time I fell into coma during the exam, but this time around when she came, she was one of the inspector. She said to me, since I am an inspector in this center you will not pass. I told her, you are late, I am already in Christ. She said, we shall see what you and your God will do. On the third day of the exam, my friend told me, please can you accompany me to the toilet? I said no way, but she insisted. I was categorical, I am not coming. My friend was influenced by Elisabeth, who was waiting for me in the toilet in order to attack me, and when she went to the toilet she met a lady inspector who was actually Elisabeth, who strangled her in the toilet. And it is when the lady banged on the door that everybody went to the toilet and found this lady inspector who was Elisabeth strangling my friend. They arrested her not knowing that she was a queen of the sea, and when they were taking her away she told me, it's your life or the diploma, you must choose one. I said, I choose both of them. I will live and I will have my diploma. She said, you are challenging me, yet you know me better than these other girls. When she entered the car she looked at me and was taken away. I did my exam and pass. Elisabeth never came back again.